Today we're going to take a look at calculating the initial aircraft state, also called Step A. We have here a player card, a log sheet, and an E6B, and that will let us make all these calculations. I have an initial setup flown in from our previous turn. So we have an aircraft at altitude 35 with a starting speed of 380. The rest of the FAD is set up, but that will not be important for these steps. First off, we look here at A, part 1, find keys, Q, and zoom by setting altitude and then indexing KTAS. You can see that this is a HUD side operation by the icon here. And it says first we're going to take the altitude, which you remember is 35, and in the starting altitude window set that. So we'll twist the dish FAD around until we get to a starting altitude of 35, right about there. And then we're going to read all these values around the KTAS, the knots true airspeed. And our KTAS, our speed is 380. So I'll rotate FAD around while keeping the window in a constant position to where we find 380. And you can see that's just a little bit shy of 400 here. And we're going to read zoom, keys, and Q all around. So zoom is this outer green scale. You'll note that zoom and KTAS are a direct relationship, so they don't change with altitude or anything like that. And so above here, 380, that looks right like 31 on zoom. So here on the log sheet, we'll write 31. And then we'll move on to the next value, which is keys. And so below 380, we'll get a value that's there's just a little bit shy of 340 here. And that looks like 330, I'm going to say 7. And we record that here on the log sheet for the keys value. And then Q is the last one directly under there. And so we're going to scroll down here and we're going to get a Q that looks like it's 35, 6, 7 and a half. So 37 and a half is where that one falls. All right, our next operation is to find Mach from keys and altitude. As you can see from the icon, this remains a HUD side operation. And in this case, we're going to put the keys value, which we found is 337, in the Mach altitude window. So that's this long one right here. And my altitude here remains 35. And we're going to move that 35 around until it's right at where around that 337 is. Now this is kind of a fine scale, so we don't have to be so very exacting, but we'll get it right about right. And I think that's about the position. And then we rotate around here and you see this looks at the Mach window, and above the little caret mark we'll read off the current Mach, which looks like it's 0.58, somewhere in there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to call that 0.59. So this is well below transonic. The last two operations are coming up, and this is place Q over weight and find smash over wing area. Okay, so this is an ASI side operation. So we'll flip over the E6BOP. We're going to put Q over weight. And the weight of the plane, which I hadn't actually recorded, is here. It's actually 22.5. That is combat weight for our example F-16. And so we'll take that value and we'll take the Q value, which we just found, of 37.5, and that'll be on the outer black scale. So 37.5 is right about here. And beneath it, we'll put the 22.5 of the aircraft weight. 37.5, 22.5, that's all lined up. And then over wing area, and that one you can see it's got the little aircraft icon on it. That tells us it's on the aircraft data card. And so we'll pull the aircraft data card here, and you can see we've got a wing area value of 3. And so I'll go around and to find the value 3, holding the dish and the base constant with each other. And there's the value 3 of wing area, and smash is right above it, and that looks like 5.05. So 5 is just fine for that. And lastly, we're going to find del max, and that's by placing smash, which we recently found. And that smash of 5, we're going to put above 1. So we'll take that 5 in a little bit, and we'll rotate the 1 underneath of it. So it's right about there. Oh, rats, I got the 10. Let's get the 1. And put that it's just a hair past. So there we go. And then over del over h, which again is an ADC value. And oh, well, let's take a look. This one is on the arrow factors table, and our Mach is under 0.6, right? So 0.59. So del over h is 4.1. So we'll take with our fixed position and we'll look up 4.1. So we rotate around. There's 4.1. And that gives us a del max of 20.5. So we're going to record 20 because you can't use 20.5. And that is all the steps to find the initial aircraft state. So we can move on to plotting and movement. That concludes this video.